Here's what I say to every single person who wants to become a coach or they're starting to be a coach. Expect a very rough ride. If this, then that. If this, then that. If they're selling something where they require an opt-in, we need to use web conversion ad. If they're doing just brand awareness to something, we're going to send a traffic ad or a post-page engagement ad. Or if they don't have any website, they don't have any funnel build or anything like that, we use lead ads. It's the pick a path, you know? And then based off that, what's the creative? Because I think where we're gonna really be able to be powerful is the ad creative. You could have the best fucking analytic tracking, stats, process, funnel, follow-up sequence in the world, but if our ads aren't converting and they're not getting clicks on and conversions, then there's no point. Creative Hub's gonna be really important for us. And what we might even be able to do is sort of like gamify it as well, going, you know what, like maybe certain people, not everyone of course, but maybe for half an hour in the week, we all have a dedicated half an hour where it's like, go into Creative Hub and come up with a couple of ad variations for this product or this service, and then we can go in and we're correlating and curating a heap. I mean, I can see the benefit of spending all that extra time there going through that, because you've just seen troubleshooting that 9 out of 10 people would go, what the fuck, I'm not even doing this. A lot of it doesn't even make sense, the troubleshooting. It was like, why did it work there and it didn't do there, then we did that and it worked. It's like, you can't question yourself with it either. You just gotta go, well, it's there and it's working. I mean, even that, trying to say, replace this with this parameter, someone's like, what? Versus it should say, click the lead, where do you want it tracked here, and this is how much, bang. You look at our ads now, converting at 20 cents. All I did was duplicate one of our campaigns that's already working at like 45 cents. The exact same thing, you can go, okay, why is it 25 cents? I don't know, it just is. And then you duplicate it again, it's 90 cents. You're like, why is it 90 cents? I don't know. All I know is that I can spend this to make this, or I can spend that before I start bleeding, I just spent the morning doing some advanced Facebook training, troubleshooting training, going into the inner sanctum, deep beneath the Facebook coding, just really working on advanced custom tracking. And they don't make it easy for people, that's for sure. I can see why most people who try Facebook, they don't get results. Or they'll create a couple of campaigns, and I'll call them fluke campaigns, and they might work. Like, yeah, I put a few $100 on and it worked. Versus how do you continuously spend, or how do you continuously invest in lead generation, lead acquisition, so it's not a sporadic up and down thing. Secret herbs and spices, mate, it's like KFC. Caffeine from green tea, equivalent to a cup of coffee, it says. Gives you very good clarity though, good mental clarity. Like I think I had one this afternoon, I was going like focused, But there is something in the act of having a coffee, it's the experience you have as you go through it. I guess the real answer comes back to, regardless of what anyone says, is because there's multiple options you could take. It's like, it just comes back to which one you really want to take. Like if I'm being open with you and sharing with you, creating the Campbell Media Group's been very stressful for me. Like I've put in more hours in the last 2.5 months than I have in the year before, I reckon. I've had number of different difficulties where I'm just like, fuck, why did I even do this? It's just, when a number of things, like you say, correlate on top of each other, the easiest way is just go, you know what, fuck it, I don't even want to do this. But the question I keep going back, look, if none of these issues were in place right now, and the business was running where you would like it to be running, would you want to get out of it? As a coach, you start out, and because you're fresh off the boat, I've been doing this 6 years, right? And I still find out new things about myself and coaching and all of these things. Like, a new coach always takes it personally. I still take it personally, right? There's nothing worse than coaching someone and they're not achieving the results that you've discussed, or there's something not happening But you can't take it personally, obviously. You gotta separate that. It's important when we're in these state of minds that we're not running from one thing because we think there's a beautiful golden egg on the other side. We need to make the decisions based off the right reasons. You know, and hey, look, you know what? It might be your time. Hang up the boots. Here, your options are you either hang up the boots or you don't, or you let the conversation in your head go and stop thinking about it, or you can continue thinking about it. And it's that whole concept again. You know, you make your bed, you just lie in it. And if you're not getting what you need there, you know the options, right? Stay or go. Same thing with your business, stay or go. You know, and look, you're going through a position right now where there's a number of things occurring. Wouldn't it just be nice if it was just one thing that you had to deal with? But you know, sometimes life isn't meant like that. You know, it throws you the curveballs, it throws you the tough situations. Because if you want to be a coach, here's what I say to every single person who wants to become a coach or they're starting to be a coach. Expect a fucking very rough ride initially. Why? Because in order for you to be a good coach, you have to experience things. You have to go through certain situations that people just haven't experienced yet. That's what makes a good coach. That's why I think I've been through more in the last 10 years of moving from New Zealand to Australia, starting my entire new life than most adults have in their entire life. I could look at all those and go, fuck, they were times where I just wanted to go and hide under a rock and do nothing. But out of each of those times was the fucking most valuable lessons, pieces of information that I could ever draw from. You live in Australia, you're gonna be okay, right? And I know that's not the best advice, but the reality is it's true. If you wanted to shut your doors tomorrow for your business, you could do that. You just need to decide. You need to decide. And the hard thing is you already know the answers. Now it's the conversation going, should I know? Oh God, I feel like this, I should do this. People are brought into your life for certain reasons, right? Some for a long term, some for short term. Some for 3 years, some for 10 years, some for 10 minutes. You just need to be awakened to the lesson. So you haven't wasted 4 years, you've invested 4 years. It's not a waste, there's no waste there at all. Because now, how would you be as a coach if you were to sit down with someone who's been in a relationship, who's gone through this, they want to get out but they don't know how, they're stuck? How are you ever going to coach them being in your position right now? You're not empowering yourself, so you can't empower others right now. The empowerment starts with you. You have to make the first decision. 100 people can tell you what they think you should do. I'm just telling you, you need to just make the decision that you already know you need to make. And you need to move on from it in the fastest, strongest possible way. Because once that happens, something else will happen and other pieces could start to fall into place as well. It goes back to the whole reason why I wrote my book. Plug. You should go and buy a copy right now, because it's called Right Now. That would just make sense. Links in description or somewhere around this video. But no, it's about the concept, life's too short. This particular person wants to leave the industry that they're in, and I just went through a very simple formula on how you can actually figure out what you need to do to leave. Most people think it's this massive hurdle that you need to climb, but take it back to black and white. Call it, I called it your escape plan. If you had to leave this job in a month, what would your escape plan be? What would you have to have in place? What would you need to do? And once you start getting strategic and you gamify and you turn it into a bit of a game, take you out of it emotionally yourself. And I just said, create the plan for me. If I was in your situation, I want you to give me the plan of what I would have to do to get out, given your circumstances. It shows you things can happen quite easily. It's not as big a deal or decision as it needs to be as most people can make it out. We just make things complicated. If you want to be a coach, I believe that you're going to be faced with a ton of adversity. You're going to be faced with a ton of challenges that people who aren't wanting to be coached may not necessarily be faced with. Why? Because in order to be a good coach, you've got to have a great understanding of what do you do when you hit these certain circumstances. For me, I'm a really good business coach, not just because I've been able to build business, but I've faced a ton of adversity that I wouldn't want to put on anyone through business. But at the time, I'm like, why me? Why is this happening? Now I know why, or I've known why for some time, but it's all happening to me, right? It's all happening for me, right? I think I just said that the wrong way, but it's all happening for me, not to me. And when you know that, today we spent 3 hours going through some advanced Facebook ad, pixel tracking, blah, 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 blah. I could look at that and go, fuck, what a waste of time, 3 of us dragged in on that, where I could have figured it out. But the lessons of that is now everyone now knows how to do this different level of tracking. I hope you liked today's vlog. Please be sure to like, subscribe, share, tap the like button, the love button, subscribe button, any button that you see around this video, I'm sure you could tap it. Also, please be sure to leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Yeah.